Good morning. We're so grateful that you were able to come out and join us. We are going to pray, and then our teachers are going to come up and get us started. So let's pray. Father God, thank you so much for Faith Academy. Thank you for this opportunity that we have to gather. Lord, I pray right now for these teachers. I pray for your anointing on them for this school year. I thank you for every boy and girl registered in the third grade. I pray, God, that you would just bless them with good health and just an amazing, supernatural, great year where they can learn a lot about you, God. In your name we pray. Amen.
Hello, my name is Miss Christy Wilson. This is my second year at Faith Academy, and I have been teaching for 8 years. I have 2 children that attend as well, and this year will be a little different, but we're excited.
Good morning. My name is Miss Knight. This is my first year at Faith. This is my 14th year teaching. I've been teaching 13 years with Mobile County, and I'm very excited to be here at Faith. Both of my kids also attend here as well.
Good morning, I'm Miss Dees. This is my 25th year at Faith and my 26th year teaching, and we're really excited to start the school year.
Hello, my name is Miss Seymour, and this is also my 25th year of teaching and a couple of years at other places, but we are looking forward to this year. Like they said, it is going to be a little different, but we're going to embrace it and make the best of it. So I guess we'll go ahead and start. I'm going to start the presentation and go ahead and do this. So look this way. We've got a lot of information to give you. This is a little, I guess you'd say a little bit more than second grade, I guess, because it does change a little bit. But we want to try to make it as easy as possible. So I'm going to kind of flip through quickly. But what you have in your hand is an overview of what we're going on, what we're doing here. It doesn't quite go probably in the same order. But if you want to look at the screens, that it probably will be a little bit easier. Like I said, we are all 4 teachers. We come from with a lot of teaching experience. Mobile County, they brought a lot in, so it's been really great having experience in the Mobile County public school system as well as the private school system. Just to start, we do start school. I'm gonna swap sides with y'all if you don't care. We do start school at 7:50 every day, and I'm going to show you some changes that we've got this year as far as parents, especially if you used to walk your children in. It's going to look a little different, as well as dismissal at 3:05. So that was a little different from last year as well. Not much. Okay, this year all the buildings will be locked until 7:20. That means no one is allowed in the buildings until 7:20. If you arrive prior to that time, they'd like for you to stay in your vehicle or out. I don't know, if you can, and I guess timing when you get here probably. I know it's probably going to be traffic is going to be heavy, and if you do go to daycare, they do still have the before and after school care, so they'll take care of them before then. All right, 7:20 morning duty will begin. Morning duty, you will normally know what teacher that is, and I'll go into that a little bit later. Their temperature will be scanned when they walked in the door. When we walk in the door, every teacher has a temperature checker, and so if you can before they leave for school, if you have the ability to do that, it would be good to go ahead and try to check if you see any symptoms that might be occurring. But we will check them. But no one will be allowed to congregate in the hallways. Sorry, parents, it's a little different than in the past, but nobody will be allowed to congregate in the hallways. During the first 2 weeks, you'll be able to walk your children into the school, to the classroom, to the door. We ask that you wear a mask, just like now. Those are the times, they've changed. And as soon as if you do want to drop them off, a lot of times, a lot of them are old enough now, they're in the third grade now, so they can, come in as big boys and girls. But if you are coming in the first couple of weeks, just exit as soon as you drop them, at the door. After the first 2 weeks, we're encouraging you, if you want to still walk them, just walk them to the building, but you won't be allowed in after those couple of weeks. At this time, like I said, everybody, we will all do our own morning duty. When you come in, your child will come in at 7:20 directly to their classroom. And we'll let you know as soon as that changes. Like I said, we're going to check the temperatures. If it is 100 or higher, they will be given a mask if they haven't come in with one, and they will be sent to the school nurse. Our school nurse is Mrs. Kelly Skelton. So if you ever receive a phone call from the school nurse from Faith, that's who you're talking to. Miss Skelton is the RN here. And don't get that confused with Miss Skelton as far as the headmaster. There's always been two Miss Skeltons. The school nurse will coordinate with you and talk about the steps, regardless of what they have or the condition, or if it's just a headache or a fever, or if it is COVID related. Like I said before, if you can check your child's temperature before school starts, that'd be great. And if they do come in, everything is not going to be COVID related. We know that kids get things, especially when they get around other students. But you'll see some of our health policies and things, and if you will make sure you check that, and just, they've got to be symptom free. This is nothing new, for 24 hours before they can come back. And two, if you need to notify your child's teacher, we'll be all giving you the Remind apps for our class, just like you probably had last year. And we'll give that to you and send it home with you on Monday. And so if you can let them know, you can email back and forth in that Remind app. And we are following the guidelines given to us by the Mobile County Health Department. And so regarding exposed individuals, class closures, length of time, they have to be quarantined if it is COVID related. Okay, the mask, I know that's a big issue. It's going to be hard for all of us, but we're going to do the best we can. Right now there is a mask mandate order that we are to wear masks, anything second grade and up. And so that's what we're going to do. So it's all new, so we're not sure our policies and procedures or what it's going to be in the classroom, but we know we have to wear a mask. So if they are solid color, no patterns, sorry girls, the cutesy ones, we have to wear solid colors. And make sure they have your child's name on them somewhere, whether it's initials or their name somehow. And make sure that just know, and then if we stress it, if you don't hear anything else today, know that masks are worn so that we can stay in school, so that we can see your kids face to face, and that's what we want, and that's what we're blessed to be able to do. This is just your levels of exposure, and basically you can see here that not wearing a mask gives you a high risk, all the way to both parties and 6 foot apart is your best at low to next to no exposure at all. And this is a really good illustration, I guess you say, of if you're understanding the help for the mask. Now, absence and tardies, that's one of the things. If 20 days is the max absences a child can miss, but it has to be, anything over 20 days has to have a doctor's excuse. Or they will have to repeat the grade. Now, COVID-related is a little different, and we will, see that as the need arises. But as far as regular absences, anything 20 days, and if it is COVID-related, it will have a doctor's excuse. So due to social distancing, tardies are going to take a little longer. So if you're one of those that you're tardy a little bit, and the child has to go to the office, then you will need to make sure, just know they may not get back to class as soon as they usually do, because they're social distancing them in the office, and then when you've got a long line, it can be out the door. Early dismissals, just like last year, or even if you're new, if you go to the front office, if they know you, they're probably not going to get you to show the ID, but if they don't, they're going to ask for your ID. And the student release form that you'll get Monday is very important. Please, if anyone that's picking up your child, make sure they're on that student release form, because that's what they look at. And no early dismissals after 2:30, and that's strictly because it is very hectic, especially with our dismissal times and all that. And one of the dismissal times this year will be at 2:30 for our younger kids. Now, during school hours, we do have a school phone. It's up in the office, but it's facing the hallway, and it's behind some sliding glass window. And they are able to use that if they're sick and call home, but it's not used for anything like, I forgot my lunch or that kind of thing. And a lot of times we do that through the Remind app. I don't know, I do sometimes if somebody's forgot something, or if it's, I can text you through the Remind app and, let you know, and that gets to you a little quicker anyway. Now, dismissal for the car line is a little different this year, and if you have more than one age child, you'll need to listen to this. If you have a child in K3 through second grade, they will be dismissed from 2:30 to 3. Now, we will walk out at 3:05. We're the second wave. Now, if you have multiple kids, then you need to wait, just like this slide says, until your oldest, well, I don't think this one does. I think it's the next one, but until your oldest child is getting out. So if you have a third grader and then you have a sixth grader, let me put that. If you have a K3 and you have a third grader, don't come at 2:30, okay? Because they're going to put you back in that line again at 3:05 because we don't come out till 3:05. So, and if you have a younger one, they've told you probably what to do with that. But sixth grade, if you have a sixth grader, they'll come out at 3:10. They come out a little after us. Now, as far as dismissal is concerned, it's a little different as well, too. Car line's important. The yellow piece of paper we're going to give you with your name and your child's teacher is important. Dismissal, they're not asking you to come into the buildings at all. If you've ever seen us at dismissal time, it's like a flood of ducks have been let out because we're all coming out at the same time. And with this new dismissal times and us crossing, it's going to be a little hectic. And if you'll use the car line, don't forget to hang your yellow sign in the window. Choose the dismissal wave of your oldest child. And if your child does go to daycare, if you feel like you're running late, 3:35, we do not even attempt to go over until 3:35 to daycare. Miss Kirby's real good about that. We don't even act like we're going that way till 3:35. If you're new to the school, this is a very good illustration of how our car line works. If you're, you can see the arrow there. The car line does go in starts out on Ziegler and is a horseshoe, and it goes back out to Ziegler. The lines are it's really identified and everything, so it's really easy. But nothing goes out onto Tanner Williams Road. Rainy day pickup. The easiest thing to say about rainy day pickup is we will send you a remind if it's rainy day pickup. As soon as they alert us, as soon as Miss Kirby or Miss Sykes alerts us, we send you a remind and inside pickup. And now inside pickup is not going to look like inside pickup did before. Inside pickup, students are going to be in the classroom, but parents bring the car line sign to the door, and once we know you, we'll know who you are. But parents need to bring the car line sign to the door, and students will be called by the walkie-talkies to the door to meet you. Now, in case of severe weather, which we don't have all that often, I don't know if how long you've been at Faith, but we probably have the best communication system known to man. You're going to get an alert, either it's an email, a remind, something letting you know when severe weather or anything like that is happening. Check your email, local news channels, our Facebook page, the reminds. Really, the remind is probably don't y'all say, that's probably the best means of communication. Before and after school care, 3:35. We leave the car line right here. And I don't think we put this on here, but third grade, right outside the building, we will be one of the first few squares out there. You'll see us as soon as you come out of the building that we're in. That's where we sit for carpool. And so if you did walk up, now you've probably heard of what's been put in all the systems in the air conditioning systems here. It is a new bipolar ionization system, some big name, in the HVAC system that is supposed to kill 99.4% of the COVID virus. I mean, we've heard good things, and Mr. Skelton's, we trust him and the research he's done, and we're excited to know, and I hope that this is going to be awesome and no one's going to get sick. I really do. We're going to believe that. We're just going to believe that. Each classroom will have hand sanitizing stations like they always have, soap, they've got it in the bathrooms, all those kind of things like that. So we've got the clinic, we've got sprays that he's given every one of the rooms that we will spray the desk off every day. We're going to be clean. And we're gonna follow all the guidelines, I can promise you. Students are going to wash their hands at bathroom breaks, lunch, PE, high-touch surfaces we're going to sanitize, and we're doing all the measures we can in case of the event of a COVID-positive test. Now, as far as just a regular medicine and health concerns, if your child has a doctor-prescribed medication, especially if you've been here before, the medication form has to be filled out. If it's Tylenol or Motrin or something that they take because they have migraines that are often and you want it to be in, our possession so we don't have to call you if they get a headache, it has to have the medication form, with it. We have to have it. And you need to be the one, really you can't bring it in anymore as far as it really needs to be here Monday if you can, when you come to meet us, and if you can go ahead and bring that in. The medication form is going to be in the folder we give you. If you can be prepared to fill that out, go ahead and give it to us. That would be great. That'd be great. But please don't ever send it in a backpack or a lunchbox or anything of that nature. As far as your grades are concerned, for the kids' grades are concerned, your students' grades will be available on Parent Portal for your convenience. And we'll give you those instructions. If you are new to faith, and there are a lot of third graders that are new to faith, if Miss Dennis in the office is the one that will give you your password or anything like that you need. Each child is going to be assigned an email address this year. They're going to be assigned, because we will be doing Google Classroom, integrating that in our classroom, in case, just because it's a great tool also, but in case we had to go to distance learning for a couple of weeks, to make it through, the seasons. And this is a list here. It tells you when you first see it, and there'll be more information given. This is not the only information you're going to be given for this, on how to use a Google Classroom and things like that. So we can come back to that, but more details will be given. Social media, our Facebook pages. Currently, we don't have a third grade page for this year. We did do one for distance learning just because we needed to. We do have, some of the teachers have an individual page, but the teacher is the one who creates that, no one else. So if you see one that may have been generated by a parent or something, that's not one that you need to be with. The uniform policy, I know that uniforms are, I do believe Miss Wolf got her shipment of shirts in yesterday, so if she did, she'll probably be contacting you, especially if you have one. Girls, the jumpers, the shirts underneath, the FA logo socks, I think there's a little discrepancy on those. There may not be any more in, if not, than the white sock, the short sock. Only white short. When it gets cold, make sure, boys or girls, that you only put a short sleeve white shirt on underneath, nothing long. I know when we're in the rooms, it's pretty warm or pretty cool either way as far as the weather is concerned outside, so they'll be okay. Just make sure that the main thing is your FA outerwear is approved. Just the pullover fleece, and what else? The zip-up maroon jacket for either boy or girl, and I think there's some sweaters and things like that. And there is a sweatshirt that's approved as well. Boys, this is kind of the year that we really start with the tucked-in shirts, because you got to have your shirt tail tucked in. And if you have with the belt loops, if there's a belt loops, you have to have a belt. And so we do try to go ahead and train them and get them ready for these older grades as far as that's concerned. On their belongings, make sure that everything's marked if you can, especially their school supplies. We're going to have 24 boxes of 48 crayons, so make sure, they're all marked and labeled with their name. The history book, and we'll kind of tell you this when you come to our classroom, but the history book and the readers are the only two books that belong to the school. The others belong to you guys. So to help those books that belong to you to last longer and not tear up on day 3, which is the covers are horrible. If you can cover them with clear contact paper, they will last. If you can cover them with clear contact paper. We used to do that a long time ago and kind of got away from that a little bit, but they just don't make books like they used to. They don't make covers like they used to. Okay, as far as discipline is concerned, if you've been here before, we know that Faith Academy has the school-wide assertive discipline plan. And a lot of times you see teachers, depends on, what theme they're using in their classroom or whatever, but pretty much you'll see now, you'll have their names on the board, warning, if they're, a warning, a W means there's a warning. And that's just a verbal, warning. You will probably never know that. They probably won't ever let you know that. But if you're like my child, you could tell it all over their face if they had a warning when they come home. But a one check is usually a timeout, a silent snack. In third and fourth quarter, which I'm sure they all know, we have detention. And so detention, if you do get a check, that does mean 15 minutes detention. And we'll let you know more about detention later in the year. But 2 checks, and we don't usually ever get to this. I don't know if y'all, 2 checks or 3 checks, and you can see the consequences here, calling you, calling the parents in a note home, isolate another classroom. But you will definitely know. We're going to have, and I'm going to tell you about, I think this is next, our conduct grades are given 25 points a week, 5 points a day roughly, depending on the days we're here in that week. And each week on the progress report, you'll see their conduct grade. So if you see a 20 out of 25, that typically means, you must have had a warning or check. What did you have this week? What went on this week? And so that's how we do our conduct system. And we will let you know, this is just detention. We'll let you know about that more towards the Christmas time when we get into detention and the reasons for detention. And it'll all be laid out to you and given more details then. Lunch is also going to look a little different this year. Students are eating in the cafeteria on a staggered schedule. I don't know if I'd really call ours lunch or brunch this year, but we are eating at a much earlier time. I think it's 9:50 to 10:25. But we will have snack, around lunchtime, 12 to 12:30, between 12 and 1. So they're not going to be hungry. I mean, we'll make sure we stagger it. But students, we have to use only half capacity in the classroom, in the cafeteria this year. Students are going to be spaced and seated accordingly. Nobody will sit across from each other. They'll all sit on one side. And at this moment, lunch visitors, parents, no lunch visitors at this time. And hopefully that will be lifted, but at this time it's postponed for lunch visitors. As far as our snacks concerned, this is the last year for your snack, guys. So in 4th grade, snack goes away. But as far as our snack, we said 12 to 1 because we really don't know just yet what we'll do or when it's going to be the best time for each individual classes. But just like your lunch, if you order a snack online, it does have to be ordered in the morning whenever you do your lunch ordering. If you're bringing your snack, that's great. But if you're ordering, it has to be ordered before 8 a.m. And please, no carbonated, anything pretty much anything is okay, but no carbonated drinks. Nothing they have to open up because it could spill and spew and be all over the carpet. So, but it says water and ice cream cannot be ordered at snack. I thought we took water out, but I mean, water can be ordered, but ice cream can't be ordered at snack. Okay. Water has to be ordered at lunchtime, but you can bring it back to the classroom for snack. Okay, I think that's what we meant to say. All right, and this is your My School account. If you've been here and you order lunch, same as last year, and it does have to be ordered. One thing they did stress was don't start ordering at 4 minutes till 8 and finish at 8:02 because it won't go through. They'll look at you with. Have you ever seen your students look at you with them big eyes, with watery eyes, and they don't have lunch? It's not a pretty sight. This is different too. This year, water fountains are not going to be used right now. Okay, students can bring a water bottle. Now, this is what we were talking about before we came over here, to keep in their cubby during the day. Not a frozen water bottle that's going to leak all over the place like a water bottle that you buy in a pack. It just starts getting all over the place. But an insulated one's probably much better. Nothing really huge because it does have to go in their cubby, but something that would hold water that they could go to it when it's time for water fountain time, And make sure it's full every day, because we can't refill them all day long every day. Make sure it's full. And we'll, after, water, at bathroom breaks or PE or things like that is when they would be able to go. Birthdays, this is a little different too. Birthdays this year, if you decide to bring something for your class, that for our classes, for your child's birthday, it's perfectly fine. It just has to be prepackaged. And what we mean by prepackaged is by the manufacturer, not by mom putting donuts in a plastic bag. And it's just because of all that we're going through right now, we just have to do it this way. So Little Debbie cakes, anything prepackaged. So, and again, you're not going to be able to bring it to lunch because visitors are postponed at this time. Class parties, we usually have our Christmas party. Of course, you'll know in plenty of time about those details for that. Real quick is academics. We have on this slide, we'll talk about reading, language, writing, and handwriting. Reading, we do test in the areas of comprehension. We have usually 2 or 3 oral reading grades a year. We do, it says 2 novels here, but we did pull in a 3rd one this year, Muggy Maggie, Charlotte's Web, and we do have a nonfiction book that we're bringing in as well. Language, they're tested each week. There's no set date, like Tuesday is language test. I mean, it just depends on how it falls in our curriculum. But they're tested, either quizzed or tested each week in language. Writing, we do follow the writing process, the 5 writing steps through, but we also do pre-writing. We teach them pre-writing and publishing and opinion writing, informative writing, narrative writing. Handwriting, we do still grade handwriting. We do it on a satisfactory, fair, needs improvement, unsatisfactory. And we are doing cursive. They started learning cursive last year, and I realized their year was cut short, but they had already pretty much learned a lot of the letters and strokes, but it's a big year for cursive, and we're reviewing and that kind of thing. So if you are coming from public school and you have not started cursive yet, don't fret. We do go back over everything, so it's really not a problem. Spelling, we do test each week in spelling. We do not test on Friday, we test on Thursday. We send all of our information and homework sheets and everything home on the Friday before the week. So you will have your spelling list tore out, and it will go into a folder that I'm fixing to talk about in just a minute. And you will, it'll explain then. So we do have spelling words every week. Math, you'll be tested, quizzed or tested every week as well. Bible will be tested every other week. Isn't that right? Your Bible is every other week. And it will be Bible verses. And we do have tests on our stories, but it comes usually, once a quarter? Usually once a quarter. We send weekly progress reports home. This is your last year for weekly progress reports. We do send those home each week with a test attached, where you just sign the top sheet and send everything back within 2 days. We do. There were going to be homework this year on Google Classroom as well. Nothing major, but we're having to implement this. And we want to make sure that you are acclimated to the Google Classroom world, so that we, in case we do have to go out, that we'll be prepared. Homework, we will give you your homework on the Friday before. We'll give you a new homework sheet. We will give you language and math, which go along with what we've learned. And spelling, and we give it on Friday, so if you're one of those that likes to do it over the weekend and get it over with, you can do that as well too. You'll notice that spelling, I think, is always turned in on Tuesday, but the other is not due till the next Friday, so it's totally up to you as long as it's in by the next Friday. Did I skip anything? There's never written homework on Wednesday nights, but there may be studying for a test. But if they are out, I think we all have folders and something somehow in our room identified that if a child's out, it goes in that folder of the day they were out, and all they do is check their folder, check with their teacher, and make sure they make that up as well. The maroon folder, I don't think y'all have ever done this before, but the maroon folder is our way of communicating with you. Every Friday, they will be given a brand new homework sheet. a new spelling list, and the homework for the week as far as language or math. And it will go in, you will see the maroon folder has 2 plastic sleeves. And we'll have it all identified. They're going to set it up. They're responsible for it. It's great. In the front pocket and the back pockets are usually where we turn stuff. If you need to send something to school, you can with them. Or if they need to bring something home to you, they can do that as well. It's a great way to keep them organized. Help classes, right now, there are none until we get the whole morning duty thing and the rotation. And when we do go back to help classes, we put that on the homework sheet, who has morning duty and who has help class that week. Our test schedule, each child will be tested in the following areas, and we went over that. 3rd grade is a big testing year with all the tests, but we do try to space those out and not make it so overwhelming for them. But please be ready to study with your child this year. Please be ready. Students will be given the opportunity to visit every other week to the library. A computer, they go every week for 45 minutes, and I think it's on Tuesdays this year. They do have a UV device that scans. Miss Classman will scan all the computers with after each class, so it will be cleaned with a UV device. Computer lasts 45 minutes. We will PE, so still going on as planned this year, but students will be separated. So if you're in Miss Seymour's class, you're going with Miss Seymour's class only with Miss Teal or Miss Nove. Miss D's class will go with a PE teacher, so that each class is separated. And you do have to wear your PE shoes as long as they're non-marking. There's really no, non-marking shoes, as long as they will not scuff the gym floor up. Is that anything? It's going to be outdoors, weather permitting, as we hopefully. Music class, they do go every week with Miss Cleveland. It will be 1 class, not 2 like it was in the past. It will be 1 class to music. Both of them, Miss Tripp and Miss Cleveland, offer. Well, it says Miss Goins and Mr. Martin, but I think that's more for the upper level. They do provide all music lessons, private music lessons, and you can see them on Monday. I think they'll be stationed in their rooms. Chapel is also going to look a little different. Unfortunately, right now, chapel is going to be pre-recorded and live streamed, and we're going to be watching it in our room per class. That's just the way it has to be right now, and so hopefully we can get back to normal. Cell phones, if your child does have a cell phone at this young age, it does not need to come to school. We can get in touch with you at any time. I know if you have to have it for special reasons, as medically you can, but this is a school-wide policy, nothing before 4 o'clock. Now we have class fees, and you'll see this on Monday when you come with your forms, but we do have a Scholastic News, which is a newspaper we use every week. Well, it's not quite every week. It's usually about twice a month, sometimes 3 times. It just depends on the month that we're in school. But this helps pay for that and any arts special crafts that we do. So we'll be taking that $12 up as well. And then each of us have an Amazon wish list. That's kind of the new thing as far as, I'm about to hit my leg, that they have now. That's just some larger items, I guess you'd say, that we would love to have if anyone, would like to bless us with, but it's just totally, voluntary. But you'll see the little Q code out that some of us will have out that you can put your phone up to and see it. But we'll have on our boards probably a few little sticky note things with candy and different small stuff too that you're welcome to help us with if you are able to do that. The paperwork that the forms, if you can be ready when you come to see us on Monday, and we're looking forward to it. Each of us are looking forward. We're just looking forward to seeing some children. We haven't seen children in 5 months in a classroom, and we're blessed. I don't know if you know how blessed you are, but we're blessed to be on face to face. I know, that we're able to come to school. And but if you'll be filling out the forms, so if you're prepared to sit at their desk and fill them out, that'd be great, and leave them with us. That'd be awesome. And there will be an assertive discipline, a student release, an electronic resource form, a daycare form if you need the daycare form. So I've given you a lot of information. They voted me to talk today, so if you have any questions, if your questions probably will be when you see us on Monday, and that way it's more personable. I know this is, but we appreciate that we're given the opportunity. I know there's not many of you in here, but I know there's a lot of people watching live stream, and this will be recorded as well. So if you'd like to see the PowerPoint a little bit slower and in its entirety, you're welcome to go back and watch that. But we're looking forward to it this year, and we'll excited about seeing you on Monday. Y'all have a nice day.